Hello, and hope things are finding you in a fun state of mind. If not, I'm glad you're here. I'm Jim. Nice to meet you. Nice for those of you returning. Nice to see you again. Today we're going to take a look at this. I love this topic. It's going to be uncut gems. These are ones that you might not have heard of. These are books that I know that I've read several times, many of them, and I think they're great. So we're going to start off with true crime. Let's just go that route. First one we're going to look at is a book called The People Who Eat Darkness by Richard Lloyd Perry. This one's fun. It's, well, if you can say true crime is fun, but it's about Lucy Blackman, but really that's our main victim in this. Basically, she goes to Tokyo and she's having a hard time finding a job there, and she basically becomes a escort, and she thinks it's going to be one thing and it turns out it's another. The real star of this book, though, is the society as a whole in Japan. And basically Lucy Blackman is missing, nobody can find her, and basically it becomes a murder mystery, but it's a true, and it's got the serial killer type thing in it. Really, really good book, really well written. Richard Lloyd Perry is a reporter for the main Japanese newspaper there, and he's been doing that for decades. He's an excellent writer. So that's The People Who Eat Darkness. Check it out. Next one, as far as true crime goes, is Catch the Sparrow. This one is absolutely incredible. It's by Rachel Rea. This book is really cool because it flips the true crime thing on its head, because this book is about Stephanie Kopczynski, who ends up missing and ends up murdered. She's basically in a domestic violence situation. She ends up murdered, and it's an unsolved thing. And the flip of the whole thing is Rachel Rea turns out to be Stephanie's stepsister. So she's solving this crime on her own, and it's a family member, so there's a lot of dynamics in it. It's an excellent read. I don't hear anything about this book, which is bizarre, but it's a really good, if you're into any kind of true crime, this is one to pick up. It's really fast-paced, really good book. So picking it up to nonfiction, this is set aside differently from true crime, kind of. We're going to look at I'm From the Government and I'm Here to Kill You. The True Human Cost of Government Complacency. Government complacency, we all know about that. But this one's by David T. Hardy, and basically what this thing is cool about is it takes a look at all the little things that can go wrong that cause these horrible things to happen. Things like, I remember a case that I was not affiliated with, but I was looking at from Colorado, where there was a signpost, and whoever was doing it for the state the signpost was falling off, and people kept calling 911 saying, hey, this signpost's coming off, and they did nothing about it. Lo and behold, another car comes through, the sign falls and kills a family. And that's the kind of complacency we're talking about in this book. It highlights a bunch of different things, and just weird things that happen, and a chain of events that cause a tragedy. It's interesting. He keeps it moving. It's not a very dense book. It's really, you can really get through it fast, but it's very interesting. That's I'm From the Government, I'm Here to Kill You, The True Cost of Government Complacency. Next one in nonfiction, and this is, again, we're doing two in each of these, is called Unmask Alice. LSD, the Satanic Panic, and the Imposter Behind the World's Most Notorious Diaries. That's a mouthful. by Rick Emerson. Now this one's interesting because I knew nothing about this going into this book. I just thought, well, boy, that's a mouthful. I want to try it out. And essentially what this thing is about is these two diaries that came out that essentially started the satanic panic. And they were totally bogus, but there were a lot of people that were arrested under the satanic panic thing, a lot of strange stuff that went on. And I remember going to a Pat Benatar concert here in Casper, Wyoming, and there was, there were picketers out there and everything, all because she did a song called Hell is for Children, which was about child abuse. But that all really started with this Unmasked Alice thing, which was two diaries that were bogus. So it's an interesting look at that, and that's one I've not heard a lot talked about too. So next we're going to make a trip down horror, and we'll just jump right into it. This is probably my favorite. These two books are my favorite on the list, I think. These are great. The first one is This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau. Caitlin Marceau, I have not read a bad book from her. They've all been 5 and 4 stars. This one's 5 stars. By the way, everything that we're reviewing here today is a 5-star read. This Is Where We Talk Things Out is one where our main character, her dad has died. So she has to go back home, and she decides she's going to mend fences with her mom. Her and her mom have a fraught relationship. So she's going to go home and figure that out. It's quite obvious they don't like each other, and things go bad, from bad to worse there. It's really interesting, really fast paced, and the cool thing about it is it lays out almost as if you're watching the whole thing and you're sitting in the living room when they're trying to mend all this stuff. It's bizarre, and it's very entertaining. This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau. And last but not least, I've saved my favorite book on the list for last, and that's Sour Candy by Keelan Patrick Burke. Now, if there's ever a book that has the dumbest sounding premise, probably this one, because it sounds stupid. But it's really, really good. So Sour Candy, we start off with a guy that's just going to the store, very mundane. And he's going down the store, and this kid is just flipping out. He's just screaming. We've all, as a parent, any parents out there, you've been there. Your kid's screaming. He's flipping out, throwing a fit. And you're like, oh, can I slink away and act like this kid is not mine? I've done it. I've been there. Okay. Target, you were anyway. So this kid's screaming, throwing a fit, and through a bizarre set of circumstances, this kid gets attached to our main person, and it is terrifying. It's actually a scary book. Of all the horror ones and all the other ones, this one's really scary. So I don't want to spoil it. I know. You're like, okay, so what happens? I don't want to spoil it for you. So Sour Candy is a shorter book, so it's one that so is This Is Where We Talk Things Out. But Sour Candy is one you gotta check out. Keelan Patrick Burke is a master of the small, condensed horror. There's a lot of punch for as small as it is. So try these out. Let me know if there's any that you've found that you don't hear talked about much. Put it in the comments, because I want to try it. I'm always finding stuff, but try these out. Let me know if they hit you the same way they hit me. So anyway, subscribe to the channel if you like this. We're just going to keep going with all sorts of fun stuff. There's all sorts of shenanigans coming your way. So subscribe, leave comments, love the comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.